Hi, everyone. Thanks much for joining us today. I'm really glad you're here. And my guests today are Joann Atchity and Emma Brown. And I'm glad you guys are here too. And I'm going to read your biography to let people know a little bit more about you. And some of you who have been regular to the podcast might remember Joann. She's been a guest before, most recently, I believe, in December, when she talked about her rocking the baby method. And Joann is an RN with a BSN who has been an energy healing practitioner since 2011. She combines Reiki and Eden energy medicine, energy balancing, and EFT or tapping with Sanskrit mantra. And Joann is also, I just wanted to throw in here, extremely well read and soul focused. And she joins me today to tell us about her new project. It's an in person gathering for what is being called Friends of the Way Forward community in Kansas City, Kansas. And she shares how she's setting up the program and how she's doing it in a simple and a stress-free way as possible, and hopes to encourage each of you uh, to develop or to put on a project like this and a gathering in your locality so that we can continue the good vibes of being together and relating to each other. And we'll talk also about the confluence that was in Texas and where this idea came from. And so her website is joannatchity.com, and I have her Facebook link below. And Emma Brown joins us also. She was at the confluence and is going to tell us her experiences there. And Emma is a massage therapist, a yoga instructor, a quality water connector, and a DJ. And I have her Instagram account listed there, so you can find her also there if you'd like to contact her. And Emma, what's your cat that will be joining us today?
That's
What's your cat's
Mia.
Mia?
That's
All right.
Mia, and Vinny is here as well.
All right, very good. So, very good. So, Joann, why don't you start by telling us how this idea developed, and then from there we'll go into talk about the confluence itself a little bit, and then we'll come back and talk about the more of the details of what you're planning.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having us, Carla. Um, I was first introduced to Alex Zek back in 2021 during when the world was different. Let's call it the shenanigans that were 2020. And many of us stepped forward to speak openly about health freedom and those kinds of issues. And I had the good fortune to be introduced to Alec at a small community gathering, and we also met in the state house in Topeka because we were both there speaking about a religious and conscientious exemption bill that they called a special session back in November of 2021 because folks were losing their jobs over or being threatened with losing their jobs over not taking the as I like what Chance Garton calls it, the cowpoke. And so many of us were realizing that the intention was to make us feel isolated and separate, and it had thankfully just the opposite effect. So many people stepped forward, spoke their hearts, and connected in community. Alec had a couple of different iterations of podcasts and organizations. The first one was Health Freedom for Humanity here in Kansas City. And then for various reasons that moved on. And now he is the creator of a platform called The Way Forward. And it is exactly what the name implies. It is focused on health, on freedom, and on coherence. And topics such as food sovereignty and the fact that water has memory and liberty and on and on. And Emma, you can jump in and tell me the topics I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Um, and
Telepathy, fourth phase water, natural birth, the words that we choose to use.
Yes, yes, and so much, and so much more. That is such a limited description of the way forward. And this is a great place to just put a plug in. The platform is The Way Forward, and it's FWRD. So thewayfwrd.com. I think The Way Forward may have been spoken for, so he switched it up just a little with an alternate spelling. So we want to make sure we get that right spelling out. But the platform, his goal is to gather open-minded, open-hearted people to come together and be able to share all of this information, all of the good things that are happening. It is so solution-based, and there on the and I would like to encourage everyone to certainly go look at The Way Forward, consider joining it. The member map is one of the things that really speaks to me, which is a way to put yourself on the Way Forward map and find out if you have neighbors nearby who are already part of this community. And they also have a business map. So business directory that is a map. So you can find um, um, conscious business owners and folks who share the sort of way forward ethic. So he and the owners of Sovereignty Ranch and then another couple, the three of them created this event 3 years ago called Confluence. And it's on Sovereignty Ranch, which is in outside of Bandera, Texas, which is a working regenerative farm run by Molly Englehart and her family. And you can find on the Way Forward platform, there's at least one podcast where Molly is the guest, and an amazing woman. I absolutely recommend listening to that podcast and getting to know Molly. But the three partners created Confluence and 3 years ago, and I had intended to go the first year and things happened, and then the second year and things happened, and then this year I went, and oh my gosh, to say that it was life-changing is really something of an understatement. We hear things like that all the time and we think it's lip service, but it really isn't. As I was dropped off at the beginning of the 5-day, and calling it a conference doesn't feel right. Calling it a festival doesn't feel right because it's so much more than either of those things. And my husband dropped me off and he said, "Honey, I feel a little uncomfortable leaving you here alone." I said, "Are you kidding? You're leaving me here with 700 of my best friends that I just haven't met yet." And that was exactly the case. Emma, was that your experience?
Oh yeah, it was effortless to be able to drop in with people immediately. Yeah, the field was very coherent, to say the least.
The field was very coherent. And that was very much by design. Dr. Edith Ubuntu Chan led the opening with a Qigong meditation to create that group coherence. And Jesse Elder then was our first speaker, and he speaks about something he calls time piercing, which I would love to talk to you more about at some point, Carla. But it's something that I think we all do without giving it a name and realizing. But how he describes it is remembering the future. So it's not that you're imagining it, although that has a component, but you use your same, I think, nerve pathways, your same energy pathways as remembering the past to check in and see if you can remember the future. And it really is amazing. So anyway, fast forward a little bit, so many speakers, so mind-blowing experiences and ideas. And I wish I could remember which speaker it was, but during one of the talks, I was sitting on a bale of hay in their beautiful shelter, and it just came to me, we need to have Confluence in Kansas City. And I just kept hearing Confluence, Kansas City, Confluence, Kansas City. And you know how we often say, I had an idea? This idea has me. And that was absolutely something that I am doing, because it's not an option not to. This idea has me, and it's such a blessing and such a download. Um, we decided as a group to leave the name Confluence in Texas for the annual gathering, but we're calling our group the Friends of the Way Forward. And we've created a Facebook group so that our mission, our complete goal is to cultivate conscious community. There are already, I think, 12 the Way Forward members on the map in the Kansas City Metro, and which is amazing, because I know that I can speak to those 12 people, other 11 people, about all of these topics without judgment. And that's sort of the there's no prerequisites to joining the Way Forward, but one requisite attribute is to question everything and to be a true skeptic, which requires open-mindedness. And as we move through these topics and discerning what we've been taught that isn't true, and what we're learning, right down to discerning how to know what is true. It was one of the big topics of the Way Forward community call last night, was how we discern what is true. Anyway, I digress a little, but I had the idea to have a mini confluence style gathering. The intention is to be a way shower, to show that it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be difficult, to keep it as simple as possible, and to make it low cost and high value, and bring our community together. And as I sat there that day, it dropped in last weekend of July, and okay. So right after that dropped in, oh, we're going to have it at Sarcopar Trails in Lenexa, which is an exquisite park. There's a beautiful, beautiful venue there, beautiful shelter pavilion. And I went into Parks and Rec office and to ask to rent that pavilion. And the lady was kind of like, "Oh, honey," because that pavilion's booked all summer, and there was one date available, and it was the last weekend of July. So I knew that Source was watching over this project. And um, I'll back up just a little bit. While I was at Confluence, I had the good fortune of meeting Emma, and I also met Victoria Weber, who is a local Kansas City native. And they are both excited to jump in and help see it into manifestation.
All right, very good, very good. Um, so that was a great overview of the way forward and the confluence. Do you want to speak more of the things that you experienced at the confluence, that in particular that you're trying to allow to happen in Kansas City then?
Lovely question, Carla. Thank you. Um, it was that sense of instant community, of stepping into a coherent field where you are we don't necessarily all agree on all of the topics that we're presented with. We don't necessarily hold the same vision for things, but what we do have in common there is that coherence, and the acceptance, the open, loving hearts, the knowing that if someone isn't right where I am, they're right where they're supposed to be. And that sense of that, just absolutely blissful, and that's not too big of a word, experience of community. And feeling that, oh my gosh, I made so many connections, met so many friends that I'm still keeping in touch with, that are not just around the country, but around the world. And knowing that we have in Kansas City, we already have an embarrassment of riches insofar as a conscious community. but many of us don't know each other yet. So that's really the experience at Confluence that I'm so hoping to bring home.
Nice, nice. Emma, is that what you think too, or you're feeling?
Regarding what we want to bring here
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to Kansas City. Uh, yeah, it really is. And Joann, and you talking about it, it's just bringing me back to that whole 5 day event, which, yeah, festival and conference don't totally describe what that was. Um, yes, the ability to drop into a deep conversation with anyone, and even within the entire community, I would find myself being magnetized towards certain people. I would see the same people every day, all day, it felt like. So there's even um, smaller groups within the larger group that are even more coherent in the larger coherent field. Um, and I would love to see more connection of like-minded people here in Kansas City, and I do know that it exists. It is just a matter of having a way of bringing us together uh, in the flesh, in real life. I think that is the key component of what we're trying to do, because yeah, we can create online communities, and that's a beautiful thing in and of itself. But there is something so special about actually coming in to gather in person, or in the flesh, that we often are missing in our modern day world now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there's so much more soul there, and deep connection, and I think that people will feel the depth and feel the sense of community that much more when we actually come together over our shared values. And then it's so much more expansive. I think we'll see what's next. How can we do even more to make our world a better place, to make our world a place that we we want to be, that we can thrive in together as a community.
Right. That the world is ours and we can change it, type of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Acting, choosing what you want and making it come to be. So, um, so then Joann or Emma, then you want to talk now, maybe more specifics about how you're setting things up and ideas how other people might do that where they're located.
Absolutely. As I said, we do have an embarrassment of riches in Kansas City with facilities. The pavilion at Sarcopar is just lovely, and as things like that go, it is very inexpensive. Um, but my vision, and so I'm jumping in to create. We are jumping in to create a Confluence style event. But what I'm hoping to inspire truly is to bring people wherever they are to find a way to cultivate that conscious community right in their own neighborhood, certainly in their own town, maybe the county, depending on how far you have to go. But um, I would love to encourage people to make your event be one topic and maybe meet at a pub on a Saturday afternoon, and or keep it really, really simple. So um, this one is going to be more Confluent style, but I'm hoping to encourage people to just start where they are, even with really tiny gatherings. So the Confluent style was we had it opened every morning with yoga and breath work, which I'm not terribly much an early riser, so I didn't attend those, but I know many people did. We're not doing that aspect, at least not this time. But Emma, you could talk about your event in a moment because that is your focus
Sure.
for the event Emma's helping to organize. Um, but we're going to have, throughout the day, we'll have speakers on various topics, and we're extremely excited to have Carla be a presenter on biofield tuning and share her work with us and talk about her wonderful book. And then we'll also have a local Kansas City birth coach who's a doula, Victoria Weber. We'll talk about natural birth. We'll have a MD physician who's based in Columbia, Missouri, who is a bioterrain physician. And if you're not familiar with that word, that's something very much that we'll talk about. But so many minds in our community, especially, are recognizing and questioning the narrative of the germ theory that germs cause disease, certainly questioning the existence and pathology of what have been described as viruses. Um, and there are many, many physicians who are stepping into more of a healing role rather than an allopathic model, and that is Dr. Heather Gessling will be a speaker for us. We'll have, and the schedule is not set, but I'm just throwing out the speakers that we know for sure are joining us. We'll have the talks won't be terribly long because it is late July and it could potentially be pretty warm. So we're not going to sit for long times listening to talks, but they will be 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little longer if needs be, with a good amount of time between each talk for our attendees to get to know each other, to exchange contact information, to really connect as a community, to have time to integrate the information that we just heard. We're planning to have a long lunch break from 1 to 2 and maybe a little longer than that, during which we'll have a local music artist, and we'll actually have DJ Lazuli, Miss Emma,
That's me.
during that lunch break. And then in the afternoon, we'll have I don't know which order things are going to be, but another speaker we'll have is a local couple. Mark and Aisha Livingston inherited land from Aisha's dad several years ago. His lifelong vision was to make his land a healing center, and they hold that vision in that space. And so they'll be talking, it's called Starseed Farms, and so they'll be sharing about Starseed Farms and the vision of creating that healing center. They vision a natural birth center, and actually perhaps having micro homes on the property with artists and healers in residence. I'm really excited for them to share more about that. And then we will have a panel on natural building materials, and such as hempcrete and natural building methods that will help make our homes more sustainable. I'm perhaps hoping to find someone to speak about either permaculture or regenerative farming. We haven't sorted that yet, but we've set the intention to bring that energy in. And then in the afternoon, we'll have a demonstration of a martial arts called capoeira, and it's Brazilian, and I encourage you, go on YouTube and look at a video or two. It looks more like dancing than fighting, and it's elegant and beautiful to watch. And there's a local company, a local studio that's going to come out and do an interactive demo with us. And then I think in the late afternoon, we're calling it table topics. So I think our last hour of the day, we're going to have several topics that all of our attendees can choose which one that they're most interested in, and hopefully create a lovely round table around each topic. And some of our topics so far are shape of the realm, And then we'll have telepathy tapes and blindfold vision. And I think we'll combine those because I think they really mesh together. And a topic really descended on me yesterday. I don't remember exactly why, but to have a round table about the Mandela effect, because um, especially right now during the solstice time of year, I know those of us who are energy sensitive are really feeling the strength and power of the solstice energy. And there's a perception that we're walking between two worlds, that things are really changing right now. And so many folks that I've talked to describe feeling like they have a foot in each world, and that sort of even timelines seem to be shifting out from under them. And I am really curious and don't have any answers, but I have lots of questions about the Mandela effect and how that is impacted by that sense of shifting timelines. And so those are ideas of things that we'll talk about. None of that is set in stone. I'm hoping to have a local Shawnee woman who teaches about backyard chickens to maybe come and talk with us, because the ideas of confluence, the ideas of the way forward are vast, and it really is about what will move us as a culture, as a society, as a community forward in health and freedom and coherence.
Great, great. So, how about go into, you're talking about how you can keep it as simple as possible, as an encouragement to those to to look with different eyes at things around them and what might be possible.
Thank you. So I was able to get to book a venue, but you wouldn't need to do that to have an event like this. I think that you could meet at a park, or there are lots of spaces where people can meet, and it's either very low cost or free, um, that help to keep to inspire a gathering like this. But also, um, one of the ideas that as I keep saying, we have so many resources in Kansas City. We already have, and I will invite Missouri as well, because this isn't just a Kansas side event. It's intended to be the Kansas City Metro and regional, anybody who would like to come. Um, to reach out to these various groups, find out if they're already having meetings, and that's a place where you can go and find out what you have in common with them. Don't reinvent the wheel. Perhaps there is already an organization of people, maybe it's not called the way forward, but that still are quite open-hearted and like-minded. And another idea that I have around getting the ideas started. Sorry, I just completely went somewhere else. I completely lost my train of thought. One of the things about keeping it simple is not trying to be all things to all people. We're not, because this is intended to be a local event, we're not having to deal with helping people find lodgings. They're going to come from their home to the event and go home. We are encouraging people to bring a picnic. So we're not trying to provide everything for everyone. We're encouraging folks to bring whatever they need to be comfortable for the day, and just come and gather in community. And that's one of the ways that we'll keep the overhead of doing the event very low.
What about practical things, like bathrooms or drinking water or um, lunch?
Sure. That's why we're encouraging people to bring a picnic. And we're going to have a good long break where there will be music, but we won't have a speaker during that time. And there are coffee shops and restaurants, and there's a lovely grocery store that's literally walking distance from the park if you didn't want to move your car, where people can take a little time to stretch and see the beautiful park. and go get a bite to eat, or very welcome to bring a picnic. That's one of the reasons I'm so thrilled to have booked this particular venue. Is beautiful bathroom facilities just steps away from the pavilion. There's a lovely playground because we're encouraging this to be a family-friendly event. So the playground is just adjacent to the pavilion. And the pavilion itself has really nice picnic tables. And but we're encouraging folks to bring a cushion because picnic table benches are hard, and or bring a bag chairs if you need that to be more comfortable. But we will have I think bottled water and sparkling water for sale at the event. But we encourage people to bring whatever they need to be comfortable for the day.
Right, very good. So I'm trying to think of anything else that might be helpful for people, but
I would love to share a little bit about some of my thoughts for others to create small gatherings too.
sure, go ahead.
Um, really, just for people to not feel like they have to have it all figured out to begin. Um, it could be as simple as hosting a potluck. Um, and then, it could be rotating homes, or if that doesn't work, meeting at a park, somewhere in nature would be amazing. Um, but just it could be, yeah, so simple as it being one topic. And I think when we all come together, uh, there is some nervousness around, like, oh well, I need to have it all figured out. I need to make sure that I have, I've got it lined up and everything. And I think uh, we maybe this is me, but we get too in our heads about the perfection of what we're trying to create. And
Me too.
yeah, and simply coming together through shared values is where the power lies, I feel. And it does take some organization and a little bit of structure and dedication. And it also it can it can be fun too.
Oh,
And
I would like to second that. Coming together with Victoria Weber is helping us produce the event. Mark and Aisha Livingston, um, just the friendship and shared purpose of meeting just these few people has opened my heart so much. I'm so grateful. And many hands make light work. So have the idea and run with it, and help will absolutely the way will rise to meet you.
yes, I think it
Um,
is all about being heart centered.
and I wanted to throw in here my experience with planning something like this. Um, Back in 2020, Kelly Brogan, a psychiatrist that's well known, organized something called Thank You Body Rally that was supposed to, people could take like this and organize the potluck or just have people over to their homes when things were shut down. Right. And it was a way to get together there and to celebrate the magnificence and of our healthy bodies and how we can become healthier and stronger. And so I live in a very rural area, and so I decided, but I really wanted to do this. So I decided, okay, well, I would um, host one of these in Kansas. It was the only one in Kansas, and I think the only one in Missouri too. And so I was going to do it in Topeka, which is the state capital and only about 45 miles from me. And so I thought, well, that would be a good thing. And I picked their largest park that they have so that there was bathrooms available. And I picked to have it in. I didn't even have to make a reservation. I was just planning, well, anywhere in this certain area of the park, there was playgrounds for children and bathrooms available and, drinking water things. I brought snacks and drinks too, because I was hoping, it would be nice if there was 20 people showed up or something. No one came. Okay. But it has a good ending. So I wanted to encourage people. No one came until I was packing up. It was the last like 5 minutes. It was only going to be like a 2 hour event, like 3 to 5 or, whatever it was. And right when I was packing up and was about ready to hop in my car, one car pulled up, and it was Jessica Davis from Kansas City, who was one of my podcast hosts last year when I was doing this as a trio. And so what happened was no one came. I didn't really have a thank you body, but we went out to eat and had a great visit and became good friends. And it opens up to many, many opportunities in meeting other people. And you don't ever know, even if it feels like it might be a failure and only one person comes, you don't know where it's going to lead, and how many connections can come from it in the year or two or more expanding from there. So it was just an encouragement. Even if you try and you're disappointed, it doesn't mean it was a failure. It's just where the universe wanted to start working.
Oh, thank you, Carla. That's so true. It's so fabulous. It is that your event planted seeds,
Yes. Hmm.
and we're seeing those seeds grow to fruition. So thank you so much for sharing that. Um, there were lots of events and gatherings and potlucks that I was able to go to during the crazy times. And a lot of them were put on by Kansans for Health Freedom. But as the urgency of COVID sort of died down, um, those gatherings really just sort of dissipated. And that's part of the inspiration for creating our gathering is to reconvene, to begin again, to gathering those potlucks and the small community gatherings. So because there's so I want to reiterate what you said, Emma, that online work, and Carla and I are both energy healers who do remote work, and we know how incredibly powerful that is. But I just don't believe it can replace in-person gatherings for us to create and sustain our communities is what will create and sustain, or what will help sustain us.
Yeah, I'd like to share as well that the only way we can truly fail is if we give up.
Yep.
And I heard this acronym yesterday in a training of the word fail is first attempt in learning.
Love it.
So it
Love
may
it. Love it.
so it may feel we might have an expectation of what success looks like and how many people we want to have in attendance, and that's our own what do I want to say, our own construct, and it might take a little bit more nurturing um, the seed to get it sprouting, and that's okay. It's not a failure. We're learning and growing.
I love that acronym, Emma. Thank you so
I know I loved
much.
that. It just took so much weight off of my shoulders.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Thank you.
Very good. Um, Well, can you guys think of anything else that you wanted to share about that? Or what we could do also in a few minutes is just if each of you would like to speak just a little bit, a few minutes about your work, what you do, and how people could get hold of you, both for more information on coming to the Kansas City thing. Oh, and while you do that, shoot. I didn't You sent me your flyer and I was going to
Mhm.
share it on here, and I failed to download it to my computer so I could share it to here. Do you have it on your computer you could share, or Emma, you were
Um,
the one that developed it, right?
Yes.
Do you
yeah.
have it that you could load up and then I could share it here?
Um, I don't. I'm on my phone.
Ah,
I'm
So
not sure
I
how I
will
would.
get that to you, Carla, so that we can put it in the show notes. But there is a Facebook event that has the flyer on it, and that is if you look up Facebook Friends of the Way Forward community, and then inside of that group is the event. I think you can just maybe just search the event. I'm not positive, but that's one way to get the flyer. Also, you have my contact information,
yes.
and anyone could email me, and I will be happy to email them a copy of the flyer or answer any questions that they may have.
The flyers also posted on my Instagram page, which I have here as part of my name, Lazuli
Hmm.
Frequency.
Okay, very good.
It's located there as well.
Awesome,
Thank
awesome.
you. That, and I apologize to everybody for forgetting to do that. So
Well, we won't let them not find us if they're looking.
there you go. There
If
you
they're
go.
looking, and I would like to throw out Emma and I are both sort of struggling with words to talk about confluence, and that is not uncommon among confluence attendees. I was part of the Way Forward community call last night, and oh my gosh, half a dozen people said that. I don't have words to describe what this sensation, what this feeling was like. Um, so make a plan to go next year. In the meantime, the Way Forward platform, if you are a platinum member, on the archives of the Way Forward, all the talks from all 3 years. I think this year, Emma, do you know, is this year up?
I'm not sure if it's up, but it's part of
It,
it.
it will drop soon, any day. But the first 2 years, all speakers are there, and I really want to encourage anyone who's curious at all about what we're speaking about the Way Forward. Visit the platform at thewayfwrd.com and absolutely start listening to the podcast, The Way Forward with Alex Zek, and that's spelled FORWARD. Um, I think he has got about 175 podcasts so far on every topic about health, freedom, consciousness, water, liberty, with all the thought leaders that I'm personally so inspired by. So start by listening to that podcast and see if you get inspired right along with us.
Sounds good. And um, do you want to leave it there? Or do you have one final thought for everybody?
Um, I think my contact information is available. I am an energy healing practitioner, and I do work in person. I'm in Shawnee, Kansas, and I also work remotely. And so I'd love, if you're looking for some energy balancing, I'd love to help.
And you talked about the martial arts and uh, what was the other events you were having during the event? I should say breakout sessions, or
Oh,
you talked
the
about energy workers being there that people could as part of the event.
Yes, we that's still in the planning phases. We sort of thought that adding at Confluence there was a healing tent, and they had many chiropractors and other hands-on healers, massage therapists, and you could go and have lovely body work and energy work right there at Confluence. We thought about including that, but in the interest of simplicity, this first time we're not going to quite go there.
Hmm.
Although I'm really hoping that local energy healers come and get to know the community and share their work in that way.
Okay, very good. All right, Emma, do you have a last thought? Otherwise, we'll
Sure.
end for today. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd just like to share that some of my offerings. So, I am a massage therapist. I People always ask me, well, what modalities do you offer? And I really don't compartmentalize it in that way. I've learned many things over the past 6 years that I've been in practice, and I do like to really help people to slow down and to work with their nervous system. So finding trust there with them, and taking the time to allow them to drop in and working with the fascia and the myofascial layers, the energetic components of it. I'm not trained in energy work, but I know that what I'm doing has a big energetic component.
She may not be trained, but she's still an energy healer.
Well, I tell my chiropractor, I love chiropractic, and he's in his mind, and so to him it's just physical. And every time I go, I tell him he's an energy worker. I say, like, my work, it's like your work. You're doing energy healing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So,
Yeah, just I really like to offer something nurturing. For a long time, I was all about like, oh, it needs to be more pressure, and I've just come to realize over the years that it's really not about that. It's about relaxing and allowing, and that kind of moves me into another offering, which is I'm an Ashtanga yoga teacher, and I teach weekly classes, one at Maya Yoga on Sundays at 5:30, and another class at Yoga Patch on Tuesdays at 7:15 p.m. And again, I bring a nurturing touch to that space as well. It can be a very militant type of practice. It's a very traditional devotional practice, and I welcome all levels to that because I see huge benefit in what that practice offers in clearing blockages in the energy channels, and physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. I also am a DJ, and I have a variety of different types of offerings within that. One thing I've been focused on lately is ecstatic dance. So again, finding a nurturing space for people to feel free to move as they wish, as finding new patterns of movement, dropping into their bodies, and helping to move and clear energy and blockages, and just find more freedom in the body. And one other thing, I am getting really into water and quality of water, and I'm finding that, and that's another huge topic at Confluence as well. Huge topic in so many ways. I feel like we're moving into a world of water knowledge, and learning how much of our bodies are water, through the fascia and in the cells, and so many components there. So finding a way to get the best water into our systems to and also improve our lives. So I'm available to chat about any of these things or any inquiries. On my Instagram is a great way to reach me, at Lizzie Frequency. I'm also on Facebook, Emma Brown, on there.
Emma, did you want to talk about the other event that you're helping to organize?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. That'll be coming up quicker. That'll be Saturday, July 12th. It's an event called Soul Weave. It is a one-day retreat / festival. Maybe we could call it a restival. In which it's a community that I'm part of, that we started out as friends, and this is our first event that we're throwing. We all have different offerings, as far as health, wellness, spirituality, coaching, musicians, all different offerings that we've decided to come together and offer a day of workshops, community building, connection, kind of creating a space for people to explore their ability to relate, or not their ability maybe, but their way of relating to others. We'll have DJs as well in the evening, bonfire, and it'll be located at a private residence in Shawnee, near Shawnee Mission Park. So that is another offering that I'm part of. I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be opening up the day with an all levels Ashtanga yoga class, and then I'll be closing out the day with a DJ set. And there will be a lot in between that will be fun and connective.
Very nice. Yeah. Fun. And again, it just adds more ideas that people could use for gatherings in their locality. So
Absolutely.
very
Absolutely.
nice. Yeah, very nice. Okay, well, why don't we stop there for today? Thank you, everyone, for listening. We appreciate you being here. And just for people that watch in the future, please like and subscribe to help my channel grow more and get the messages out to other people. And so thank you again. Thank you, Joann and Emma. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Blessings,
Bye-bye.
Carla.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.